Hey, today I want to talk about the importance of experiential practice and why that is going to shift the direction of this channel a bit. Hey everyone, I'm Sonja. Welcome to Holiness Connection. Welcome to Oneness Practices if you're seeing this through my newsletter on Substack. And yeah, today I really just wanted to do a quick video talking about why I'm going to start to do some more practice offerings along with the other videos on this channel. And it's partly in order to shift it even more towards the oneness practices and our interconnection, because that's really where my heart feels called to do my offerings in the world. But it's also because as much as I love concepts and talking and thinking about things, I even have mentioned that I think sometimes in videos when I'm chatting with people, it's really not the same as experiencing something through practice or experiencing something out in the world that we try in terms of how we shift our being or what we're doing. And so I want to put a stronger focus, like I said, on that. That's not to say that sometimes conceptual understanding can't be helpful. I think sometimes it can have that resonance where some of the words or some of the things that are said do ping for someone, right? And then they have that deeper understanding or insight into it. And so that can be really important. And I think, sort of an exception to just thinking of it as concepts is when people share their experiences. Because I think when people have those concrete examples or anecdotes, that can be really helpful. And that's really an easy way to see what people mean and to have some understanding and some insight that is helpful as we go forth in the world and with other people. And then finally, I'll say that sometimes something that I consider sort of crossing over almost between experiential and more conceptual is something like poetry or something like sometimes a certain quote, definitely scripture. So those things often have a different way of resonating with us and of helping us on our journey, on our spiritual journeys, or in the ways that we want to be, like I said, in the world or with others. The reason I say it's in between is because I think of it as a bit experiential as well, because often when we're hearing those words from scripture, from poetry, sometimes a quote, we're taking them in more deeply. We're really experiencing them in a way where we have a lot of presence with them. Maybe for scripture, we're doing Lectio Divina with it, which is a practice that perhaps I'll offer on this channel at some point, which is where you read a scripture 3 times and you take it on a different sort of way of interacting with it in your being or taking it into your being each of those times. And so I think in that way, it's kind of a cross between words, which we think of more concepts, and experience in that way. On this channel, there's still going to be that biggest focus on guided meditation as the practice. That's something I very much feel called to. It's partly due to my other work in the world, or because I do things around breath work and limited belief reprogramming and all those kinds of things. And so it feels very related to me to go into that state where we're often in our alpha and theta brainwaves and do some work and some practice with that in various ways, particularly in my case, offering where it's related to our interconnectedness and oneness. And so that will be the largest portion of what I offer. And there is another video I did called Why Guided Meditation that I can link here that talks a little bit more about that. So yeah, there still probably will be occasional interviews. Sometimes it might just be something that I'm called to talk about. And hopefully that will be helpful and will, especially if you take it in and think of it with regard to your own experience and how it relates to your own experiences that you've had, or if there's a particular word or phrase I say and it pings for you, that you can take it in an experiential way and actually sit with that a little or ponder it on that sort of deep level. That can probably be the most useful for those kinds of more conceptual videos. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I do think all of it's important in the wholeness of our being, even our minds, right? They're not excluded. But I like to especially work with the mind and the brain more on those levels where we're working with those deeper levels of the subconscious and those more meditative levels. So that will be a bigger emphasis going forward. And pretty soon I will be posting the first guided meditation that I'll do here. So you can look forward to that coming soon. Thanks, everyone.